All right, good morning, and you're welcome once again. Welcome back from the break. We're here on News Flash, and I have been joined by our guests in the studio for the conversations we're going to be having this morning is lawyer Kwabena Jantua,
yep.
And Kwabena Brako-Powers is a lawyer and researcher. So we're going to be having the conversations with them, and we're starting the first topic we're going to be speaking about has to do with the PRC increasing tariffs or announcing that tariffs, your electricity and water tariffs are going to be going up from July 1, which is just next week. So let's have this conversation. There's been some pushback. So first, the minority has indicated that no, they don't think it's a good call. We also had the Guta who've issued a statement. They've issued a statement also saying that they don't think that it's a good call. They stated their reasons. But let me welcome my guest first into the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Lawyer Jantua in Austin.
Good morning, Israel.
Yes, I'm well. How about you?
We are managing. We are just enjoying the draw.
Oh, yeah.
But
following
teams.
Yeah.
We are excited, even though it was not one of the best teams. It wasn't one of the best games to watch. Just that the most important thing is that we
walked away with a point,
which at least inches us closer to the round of 32.
At this point, it's almost certain that we're going because even if we don't end up as second place, the best second place team, with our 4 points, would certainly make us one of the best third place teams.
That's right.
Israel, good morning. Good morning to our viewers. I predicted when it started.
Okay, that.
0-0.
I predicted that we would score Panama.
Okay.
We will draw with England. And we would beat Croatia. The Croatia match is the one that's going to be difficult, but I'm sure we will beat them. For me, I don't care the scoreline.
Yeah.
It can be half goal. It can be quarter goal.
So long as we
progress. But nobody expected the kind of defense we have.
No.
And that is what confused the English team. It threw them.
Yeah.
Because they knew that with their talisman, what's his name? Hurricane in front there, they could do anything. But the physicality of our boys show that we're going to go far. And if we cross that parapet into the group stage, you see.
Okay.
South Africa has...
South Africa also made it through, despite all the hate watching.
They also made it through.
We're hate watching them.
But we had a penalty.
Yeah,
you know that was a penalty.
But they didn't qualify.
Yes, they didn't qualify.
Why didn't they qualify us?
Well, it's on the...
Who calls it? Is it the referee or is it the player? To go VAR, who calls it?
No, so
the referee, if there's a protest.
So our team, our players are protesting.
They should have protested.
That was my, I think, I asked why didn't they protest? Because if they had protested,
yes,
the VAR officials would have been drawn to watch the scene, to watch the very incident. But because they didn't protest and they also played on. But largely,
let's take hint from that.
Exactly.
Because the teams that are going to come, they're not going to be easy teams. Yeah. Let's take hint from that.
So Morocco also made it through and they had 7 points.
Yes. But did you watch the Haiti match yesterday?
No.
Oh boy.
Haiti
versus Morocco. Yes.
In the beginning, the first half was 2-2.
Yes.
Then Morocco had to.
They're already disqualified, but they played.
They did well.
Okay. So we're happy to have two African teams progress.
There are no minnows nowadays in football.
No, not at all. Oh. Okay. So yes, let's start with the PRC. So PRC, and I want to start with you, lawyer Jantua. PRC has announced the increases. What do you make of them in the first place?
I'm sick and tired of it.
Why?
I'm sick and tired of it.
Quarterly adjustment.
We chase our tails all the time on this particular issue. Chase our tails all the time. President Akufo-Addo's time, wasn't it the same thing? President Mohammed's time before, wasn't it the same thing?
Yes, but the adjustments are needed so that the utility companies can ensure that they're getting what they need, the revenue they need to.
Are the utility companies complaining?
No,
the
yes.
cash waterfall mechanism, is it working? It's working.
You can say it's not. It's probably not.
It's working.
Is it?
The cash waterfall mechanism is working compared to the previous years.
True.
It's working. Look, so far as PURC, we can at least look at our wastage. The wastage is where the problem is. And it's that wastage that we are paying for.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be so. It should not be so.
But even where we have the losses, the transmission and commercial losses that you're talking about, when we address them, we still would have to make arrangements so that at every point in time we're adjusting the tariffs.
By how much? It is the degree. It is the degree of adjustment. That's where the challenge is. And right now they're using the dollar. Where's the dollar today? The dollar isn't galloping like it was galloping in the previous administration.
True. But then the
dollar has stabilized.
They also
exchange rate has stabilized.
Well, in the last few weeks, the cedi hasn't performed so well against the dollar. So they're projecting, because the tariffs they're announcing now, will be effective 1st July. Essentially, they're saying that between 1st July or for the next quarter, we're anticipating.
And if you anticipate and it doesn't come that way, what happens? You'd already put it in. That means you are paying and you'd get some surplus, won't you? And what happens to it? You know, for me, I believe they should come out straight and, talk to Ghanaians. Because we are paying those legacy debts that has happened in the past. How was it created? In the end, we pay. Is government paying its electricity debts? Where is that situation now? Does anybody say anything about it? No. But when it comes to increases, what happens? Come back to the people. And the people's pay, is it being increased the same way that electricity prices are going up?
No.
There's so many things that, I feel we need to sit down and have a national discussion on it. This is not politics. This is not politics, because it affects the bottom line of the ordinary Ghanaian.
True.
It affects the bottom line. And this bit about privatization, is it 2027? Which bits are they privatizing? Remember, anybody, and what do you call it, showed us, the first people who came to privatize, what were they called? PDS. They showed us. They have personal interest and no personal friends. They're coming to make money at the what? Expense of us. Are you saying, Israel, are we really saying we don't have managers in this country? Is that what we're saying? I don't want to believe that we can't manage our own electricity system.
So I believe the conversation is not so much about whether we don't have managers or not. It's more about taking the public sector or taking that management away from the public sector, because it seems as though the public sector has become so, for lack of a better word, inefficient.
Why?
Managing that.
Why is it that when a private company comes to take over, things seem to be streamlined? Why? Because we're scared of being ruthless to our own people.
The system has been corrupted.
Yeah, but it's part and parcel of it. It's part and parcel of it.
Right, Austin.
If people, look, wait, let me finish, Israel. If we take a stance where people act in a certain way and we are ruthless with them, things will change. Why does a private company come in, they set and people follow? Why? And when it's our own, we can't follow. Corruption, yes. Corruption is deep in there. Performance, lack of good performance, deep in there. Let's look at these problems. And those who don't do the right thing, sack them. Sack one or two of them and let them smell pepper.
In this country, we don't sack anybody.
But it's part of the problem.
Unless it's politics.
It is part of the problem. So people feel they are entitled. And then we suffer. The ordinary man says, yes, and we are part and parcel of it. We see electricity, don't we?
Yeah.
We see electricity. What have we done about it? You get a situation where government puts in street lights. Within a short duration of time, people steal the street lights. Why? It's because we are not ruthless enough. We've got all the laws in this country. We are not enforcing.
If you talk about street lights theft, for instance, if we can identify those who are stealing,
why can't we?
The police can say, okay, we found these people stealing, then we deal with them, then yes. But often, we probably don't even know who.
Yeah, but why? Why are you telling me? What are you saying to me? Why? Can we go to another country and people start stealing and they won't identify? They won't identify. We just take it like that. Somebody will come with a tabletop truck, and they are doing what? They've climbed the street light as if they are doing maintenance, and we can't even stop and ask. We can't even stop and
Everybody
ask.
minding their...
Listen, I'll give you an example, a very simple example. I was on the road, that hospital in Roman Ridge there. Not private hospital.
Okay.
Near coming from aviation, that road.
Aviation?
Yes, aviation.
Ridge.
Yeah, no, aviation, the aviation road. Very known hospital.
Not sure.
Oh, no, you know it. I've just forgotten the name.
Yeah.
And there was this gentleman who was driving on the other side, parked. There was another car parked here. So it was double parking. The road is very narrow. And then I stopped and I said, "You're double parked." He started insulting me. Then I saw a police car coming. So I stopped the police car and said, "The guy is double parked." Yeah. "Oh, sir, go, you're blocking traffic." The policeman said to me, "Sir, go, you're blocking traffic." And the guy had illegally parked. What mindset do we have? Some of us have been talking. Some of us have been talking for 26 years. We are getting to a point where we are tired.
Yeah.
Because we don't understand it.
I can imagine the frustration. Osing, your initial thoughts on
this? The
3.49% for electricity, and I think for water it's something under 1%. Yeah.
Israel, this is a classic case of the political class being insensitive to the financial and economic struggles of Ghanaians. Because you ask yourself, looking at the current economic circumstances, whether an adjustment or an increment of the current prevailing tariff should be the best way forward. PRC has not been effective since it was established. And I think the time is right for us to look at particularly reworking the legal framework around PRC. Because it has become a political tool, always doing the bidding of the government. But PRC has not held the balance, Israel has not held the balance between the quality of service Ghanaians are receiving and the demands of utility providers. They are always teetering towards the demands of utility providers to the disadvantage of Ghanaians. Ask yourself, Israel, as we sit here, what is the quality of service we are receiving, even from the Ghana Water Company and the Electricity Company of Ghana? What is the nature of the service we are receiving from them that you would sit in your office, your air-conditioned office, and write a statement? And Israel, if you do a textual analysis of the statement they release, compare that to the previous ones, they are the same.
Okay.
The same.
Chasing our tails.
So Guta has a position on it, and we're going to get Guta to come in a bit. But let me throw this one in to make you feel even more terrible. The energy sector shortfall and debt repayment levy generated 8.81 billion cedis during the 2025 fiscal year.
So what happened to that money?
Exactly.
So yes.
Have they, in that report, have they told us what that money was used for?
Yes, it indicated. So somewhere, so let me just go straight to it. So according to the report, 8.81 billion, the 8.81 billion cedis collected in 2025 was supplemented by a carryover balance of 1.26 billion from the previous period, bringing the total available in the energy sector support account to 10.07 billion cedis. Total expenditure from the account for the year amounted to 9.82 billion, allocated as follows. 6.32 billion cedis operational shortfalls linked to power generation and fuel supply. 3.52 billion cedis repayment of legacy debts. Act 1135. The account recorded a remaining balance of 252.23 million cedis as of December 31st December 2025. So that's what the money is.
Operational what?
Operational shortfalls.
That's 6.8.
What were those shortfalls? This is where I would want a situation where you now itemize those shortfalls so that we see how you are tackling those shortfalls. Because you come next year and you tell us the same thing, shortfalls. What are the shortfalls?
But yes, you'd want to think that if we're raising so much money from, because this is also going to support whatever the costs of generating electricity and distribution and all of that. So then you'd expect that if this is this much is coming,
it's a lot of money.
We'll get some relief.
It's a lot of money.
So Israel, we are talking about the 1 CD levy they imposed on Ghanaians.
Yes.
So this is how much we raise within the space of in 2025. So looking at even the way they are accounting for how they spend the money, this is dissatisfactory. Israel, we are not asking the tougher questions because I think the time is right for Ghanaians to start thinking from a nationalistic perspective rather than this prism of partisan perspective, because we need to be asking the tougher questions. What are we getting from this? Look at the items they are outlining being the expenditure. We need to, I think they are
not even detailed. They're not detailed.
There's so much detail in there, but yes, we should also be able to ask for the detail.
Israel, we don't need to ask. It's automatic. You've made X amount of money. A, B, C, D is how we account for it. We spend it here, we did this, so that we know where's the account. Then they'll come and tell you when, what do you call it, Auditor General or this, all will come out. Give it to us now.
So this is a report the Finance Minister presented to Parliament on Tuesday.
Yes.
It's possible, I don't know, it could be that the newspaper is the one reporting.
They not captured everything.
I mean, they probably haven't captured.
No, but Israel, the thing is that the Finance Minister presented the statement based on a legal framework that says that you must account to Ghanaians regard to how much has been generated and how much has been expended. But Parliament should not only be the forum to be communicating this message. Put the statement out. Let Ghanaians also interact with the statement, because that is the basis of the whole conversation. Because why must we be asking, and even, Sina, you were talking about we asking the questions. Israel, the platform you've given us, it's an avenue to ask those questions. And we're asking the Finance Minister, publish the full document. Parliament should not only be the privileged class to be privy to such a material document. Because how much are they even contributing towards this 1 CD levy? Are they more than the ordinary Ghanaian?
So Israel, please don't push it. I want to read something here. It says exchange rate fluctuations. This is for what duration? What duration does this cover? Is it 2025?
Their statement does not indicate that.
Okay, so this is Guta.
Yes.
Is this Guta?
This is a Guta statement.
These are Guta statements. But they are referencing the statement issued by.
So they are saying exchange rate fluctuations. Let's look at the exchange rate fluctuations in 2025.
So the exchange rate. So if PRC is making reference to exchange rate fluctuations, then they're probably looking at the next quarter, which is from July.
Not the quarter that.
So they are anticipating
that there will be exchange rate fluctuation.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
High inflation. What's inflation today?
Inflation has begun. Producer price inflation has just gone up.
Yeah. Yes. By how much?
It's anticipated that
yes,
inflation too, headline inflation too.
To what figure?
Will follow.
You just don't say anticipated and throw it in the air. What figure? Anticipate the figure.
If we're to get the PRC statement, I suspect they may have all the details.
Fuel cost. Fuel cost. Hasn't fuel started coming down?
True.
Huh? Generation mix. That is gas, all that kind of
thermal
and all that. So let them break it down. My good friend Muzasaga, chairman of PRC, break everything down for. If you have broken it down, then let's see where we can get the document to read.
See, even the inflation as at May stood at 3.7%.
3.7% compared to inflation in the previous times.
Exactly.
They should have Ghana for more.
Right. Quickly, I'm saying that PRC is the most insensitive organization I've seen, state institution I've seen. And if they are listening to us, they must set up, because they've not performed creditably to the satisfaction of Ghanaians. They are only there and they are doing the biddings of government, the political class, whose even utilities are being subsidized by ordinary Ghanaians. They must be sensitive to Ghanaians for once and stop throwing in some of these statements, which are rehearsed statements. I think they have a template there, and whenever they want to increase the tariff, then they just pull it and they change the date.
Inflation just rose from 3.4% in April to 3.7% in May, which is also minimal. So what are they talking about?
Let's get on to the phone lines. We have the president of Guta, Clement Boateng, joining us now. Good morning to you, Mr. Boateng. So we've seen your statements, and you're asking that the PRC hold on with you don't want them to go ahead to implement the tariff adjustments that they've announced effective July 1. Let's hear from you exactly why.
Yeah, good morning, Israel. Thank you for having me. It's been quite some time now since I met you.
Yes.
I hope everything is okay.
Yes, I'm well.
We thank God. Yes, Israel, I think we are all aware of the statements issued by PURC that effective 1st July, they are going to increase electricity by 3.49% and then 0.85% water.
For water.
Yes. And if you look at the reasons that they have, assigned as the basis for their increment, we don't think it is sustainable. We don't think it is justifiable, and that is the reason why we have, issued the statement.
All right. So why do you say they're untenable?
They are untenable because the reasons assigned, does not reflect, the true situation as currently persists.
All right.
Let's take it one by one. Let's talk about the exchange rate. Everybody will attest to the fact that we've had a stability of our currency as far as our currency fluctuation is concerned. It's just about between April and May that we saw a little depreciation of an average of 4.18%, which we think is insignificant and does not warrant any price increment as far as tariffs are concerned.
But the argument is they're projecting that for the next quarter we're likely to have those issues with the currency.
So let's wait and let it happen.
So the adjustments are all supposed to be anticipated. So if you anticipate that this is what it's going to look like for the next quarter, then you prepare accordingly.
Okay, so you are anticipating. You are anticipating, and then you want the Ghanaian to pay for this increment. What about if it doesn't happen? The money that you would have then collected, will you refund it back to Ghanaians? You will not. You will not. So let's wait and then see the performance of the currency. If it depreciates, more than the 4.18%, let's say if the currency depreciates maybe about 8%, 9%, 10%, then you have a justification of increment. But you don't say you anticipate that the currency will depreciate further, and so therefore you are coming out with an increment. What about if it doesn't happen and you had by then collected the money? What will you do? So it is not justifiable.
All right.
It is not justifiable.
You stated other reasons why you think it's also not justified.
Yes, inflation. Look at where inflation took us to. Inflation consistently has come down to a single digit. And between April and May, inflation stood at 3.4%. It's just May that it rose up slightly to 3.7%. Does this justify an increment? It doesn't justify. Wait, and then let's see, maybe inflation goes up to maybe 5, 6, 7%. Then if we are increasing it, nobody will say anything about it. So if all this that they have said are projections or anticipations that things will rise, then I don't think they are being fair to Ghana. Even fuel has even gone down. In the second pricing window, fuel fell. Petrol fell by 9.3%.
And it's even getting better.
By 1.7%.
And it's even getting better now with the situation in the Strait of Hormuz being resolved.
Yes, it's even getting better. So always they just want to take Ghanaians for a ride and always come out with increment, and that has been the same reasons that they've been giving. If you can check, you can go to their website and check. Anytime PRCU want to come out with an increment, these are the reasons that they've been assigned always.
To be fair to them, though, the issues that affect the cost of electricity are about the same. It's exchange rates, fluctuations, inflation, fuel costs, generation mix. These are the main reasons, and it's because of the structure of our economy.
You say it's because of the structure of
our economy, because of the economy that we operate and which is mainly import driven. We are always having challenges because the crude oil, we're importing the crude oil. And the crude oil, whatever happens on the international markets would affect us when there are shocks. And when we also have issues with our currency, it will also affect us. So the exchange rate is that one main reason why the PRC would have to allow for some of these adjustments.
Yes, and so if you assign these reasons, and then we look at the prevailing conditions, and we think it's justified the increment, you can then go on and then increase it. But the situation that persists currently does not justify.
Yes.
That's not justify the reasons that you are basing your increment on.
I believe you have a point. So if PRC decides that, well, we're still going to go ahead despite your call, what are you going to do about it? Or it's just, as far as you're concerned, it's just a plea?
As a pressure group and as an advocacy group, this is what we can do.
All right.
It is left, to them whether they have to, heed to our call or go on for their implementation. Ghanaians will be the best people, to judge. We have done our part as a pressure group, as an association. If we think something is going to be implemented, which will not augur well for the Ghanaians, and we have come out to express our concerns about it. It is left with them, because this, when it is implemented, it's also going to add to cost of production to our manufacturers, and our manufacturers will always remain uncompetitive in the sub-region.
All right.
This sometimes some years ago they came out with this increment, and then it affected some factories, and they had to relocate, close down factories, lay down off workers, and then relocate to other countries within the sub-region. So we have done our part. It is left to them whether to take it or go on to implement whatever they want to do.
All right, thank you very much, Clement Boateng, President of the Ghana Union of Trades Association. So yes, they are pleading with the PRC, but often, when this thing comes up, the PRC is unlikely to do much about it. If anything at all, we'll hear government come in and say, all right, the PRC has announced, but we're saying the government to decide that probably absorbing. So maybe because we made 8.81 billion in 2025 from the 1 cedi levy, government may decide to come in and say, it's okay.
I throw a challenge to PRC to give us the basis of their anticipation. Did they speak with the finance minister? Did they speak with the Bank of Ghana? Did they speak with all those institutions that manage the economic system? So they're trying to tell us that government is not effective enough to control the economy because these things are going to go up. Is that what they're telling us? They should give us the basis. Yes, they should give us the basis of that anticipation. You just don't throw out there that, we anticipate that the dollar is going to go up. Give us the basis and tell us who you spoke to. Is that what the governor of the Bank of Ghana told you? That, guys, we anticipate that this is going to go up because of 1, 2, 3. They should show us the figures. Tell us, show us the content so that we can, if for nothing at all, ride with you.
Yeah.
Ride with you. Now, the government would want to save itself. Because they have the opposition also looking at them. They have the opposition also getting to them if the opposition feels that what PRC is doing is not right. Government will have to come in and do what? Shelter. But I hope government doesn't come in and shelter.
Okay.
They are an institution. They are a regulator. They should regulate. It's not always a question of increase. Where you find a shortfall, let Ghanaians know this is the shortfall, this is probably for this duration of time. They could even tell us that at the present moment, when you look at the economic situation, everything looks good. So for the July one, we would not increase for a certain part, at least for a certain percentage. But as we go on, if things start getting worse, then we might have to come in with increases. You just don't blanketly say that, because we anticipate that it's going up, we are going to increase 1st July. For me, I don't want government to come and, save them.
All right.
They're a regulator. They know their job. They should do their job by Ghanaians. Regulators are there to make sure that they control any excessive prices from those who give us services, just because the people want to be cushioned. But if you, the regulator, are looking at things and increasing where people will be commissioned,
okay, so I have just gone to the PRC website and I'm going to give us, hopefully I can get some answers to the questions that you're asking. In the statement that they issued to support this or to announce the tariffs, and I would be, can production put this thing up? If you go to the PRC website and you see the 2026 third quarter tariff review decision for electricity and water. Let me just put this one out there. Let me give it to the team, and then I would share it with you here.
Whilst you are sharing the document with the team, I think PRC must be creative. In fact, I'm looking at a time where we'll have a creative PRC, because you see, when you look at the Apparent Act, it's supposed to be an independent institution.
Yes.
Because you look at Section 4.
Which is why they would announce the tariffs, and if government decides to absorb it, that's up to
that's so. And when you look at Section 3D, the functions of the PRC, they are supposed to protect the interests of consumers.
Yes.
But it appears now the interest of consumers has been sacrificed for the interests of utility providers.
The interests of consumers also would have to look at the viability of the utility companies. So if the utility companies do not survive, then we wouldn't have electricity and water.
That's why they must be creative, because you see, in protecting the interests of both consumers and utility providers, you must ensure that the quality of service that the consumers are receiving matches the amount that they want consumers to pay. But it shouldn't be just increasing for increasing sake, but there must be a thought process, a well-reasoned process behind it.
Let's go through the thought process. So they're saying the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission wishes to inform consumers of electricity and water that existing tariffs have been reviewed upwards 3.49% and 0.85 percent for water, respectively, effective July 1, 2026. These adjustments have been carried out in line with the Commission's mandate to blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then they come to the quarterly reviews track and incorporate movements in key operational factors which are beyond the control of the utility service providers, but key in operating the services offered. These operational factors are the exchange rate between the Ghana cedi and the United States dollar, domestic inflation rate, electricity generation mix, and the cost of fuel, mainly natural gas, to power the thermal plants. So these factors tend to be operational. They're there almost all the time. These quarterly adjustments are undertaken by the Commission to maintain the real value of the existing tariffs, which would enable the utility service providers to remain financially viable and to deliver on their services to consumers, while bearing in mind the impact of these tariffs on the well-being of consumers in general. Factors under consideration. The Commission is in its analysis considered the following: Ghana cedi US dollar exchange rate. Now, the Commission applied a weighted average Ghana cedi US dollar exchange rate of 11.2228 against the dollar for the third quarter of 2026, which is the period we're going into.
Yeah.
This projected exchange rate is based on a 3-month actual interbank average Ghana cedi US dollar selling exchange rate for the period April 1, 2026 to June 19, 2026. This indicates a 0.2% depreciation of the Ghana cedi from the second quarter rate of 11 points. So they've looked at the second quarter rates against the first quarter, and then based on that, they're saying that, okay, there's an inflation rate. They bring in inflation rates. The Commission also applied a 3-month April 1 to June average inflation rate of 3.43% for the third quarter of 2026, indicating a downward review of 17.774 for the previous quarter's rate of 4.117. All right, so I've been doing, it looks like I've been doing some advocacy work for the PRC, but the PRC, they've been joined on the line by the PRC themselves, so they can get to take all the shots and whatever has been directed at them. Thank you very much, Dr. Shafiq Suleiman, Executive Secretary of the PRC. I've been doing quite a bit of the work for you this morning, but here you're on the line, and so we would want to hear from you what you make of what's the pushback that you're getting so far as a result of the tariff increases you've announced for the next quarter.
Yeah, thank you very much, Israel. It's been a while I've seen you on TV. Where have you been?
Yes, I've been away for a while, but I'm back.
Okay, good to have you back. I think we miss you a lot because we've been following you and we admire your work as well.
Thank you.
Yes. So generally, because of we've been doing either quarterly tariff reviews and anytime we do that, we look at some key macroeconomic indicators, and then we also look at some energy generation or power generation mix. So we look at macroeconomic indicators like inflation, exchange rate. We also look at thermal generation mix. That's the hydrothermal generation mix. So we are looking at the hydro component of the power we use, and we also look at the cost of generation of power from the thermal plants we have.
All right.
And then we look at the cost of fuel. That's WACOG, basically weighted average cost of gas. That's the fuel that we use. But ordinarily, because we want to cushion consumers, we use only gas with the presumption that gas is enough to actually power all the thermal plants that we have in Ghana. But in reality, that's not the case.
All right. So yes, we've gone through. Yeah, we've gone through the factors that you use, but we look at the factors, and we can take them one after the other. We look at the factors, and it generally does not seem as though you are we agree with you as far as your projections are concerned. So let's take inflation. Yes, maybe inflation probably will be trending upwards, but that's inflation. Let's take crude. Let's even use crude oil. Oil.
If you use crude oil, you get it wrong.
Okay,
so let's take the inflation first. Inflation is trending downward. Inflation is doing well. The figure is trending downwards. You take exchange rate.
No, inflation is beginning to pick up. Is that not something you've picked up yourself?
No, what I mean is inflation is relatively low or is stable. That's what I'm trying to say.
All right.
Yes. So the inflation figures we had last 2 years, are much more better now. That's what I'm trying to say. So far better now.
Are you not anticipating that in the next quarter, inflation is going to be picking up?
Oh, so generally the inflation figures we have, even around 10% and below, is fantastic for the commission and for us.
All right.
Yes. So whatever figure we are having now is relatively good.
But you still cite inflation as one of those that you're looking at?
No, so they are constant parameters. They are parameters that we use to adjust the what we call the revenue requirement for the utilities.
Okay, so you're saying for inflation, it would be a positive for us, or inflation is not impacting it this time?
It's impacting it positively.
Okay, that's the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Right.
Then exchange rate impacted it negatively, but then you take the hydrothermal mix. The hydrothermal, the ratio between the total megawatts of power we have available into the grid, we look at the ratio relative to thermal energy or thermal power.
Yeah.
So we are seeing it around 79-20 ratio. So
I think
20-70 ratio. So
hydro being 20 and 20, thermal being 79.
Yes, and thermal being 79.
Right.
So it means that hydro is akosombo and pom.
Yeah.
Those are constant. It means that we are moving away from cheap hydro,
more expensive thermal
energy.
Yeah.
And that's where some of the structural problems are. Thermal energy is expensive. So we use the weighted average cost of gas. We use gas as the fuel input for the thermal.
And are you anticipating
that? Using as the fuel input for the thermal, we've exhausted all the gas supply sources, including the gas volumes. And we are requiring to add liquid crude oil.
All right.
Or light crude oil, and HFO, that's heavy fuel oil, and DFO, distillate fuel oil.
Okay, so can you please hold on at this point? So are you suggesting that you're anticipating that gas is going to be more expensive in the next quarter? Crude oil is going to be more expensive in the next quarter?
So let me explain further.
All right.
So we have our gas sources that power the thermal plants in Ghana.
Yeah.
So we have gas coming from the Sankofa Jinyame plant offshore Ghana, handled by ENI, Vitol, and the other partners, GMPC.
Yeah.
We also have gas coming from the Jubilee partners, so handled by Talo and Estroco, GMPC, and their partners, sending that gas to Ghana Gas to process and power thermal plants in Abuaze.
All right.
Then we have gas coming from
West African Gas Pipeline.
West African Gas Pipeline.
All right.
So they bring the gas. We are supposed to pay for the commodity gas and also pay for the services of transporting the gas into Ghana.
All right.
And then we have gas. So basically, these are the main gas sources. So
the question is that gas going to be more expensive in the next quarter?
So all those gases I've talked about, we have long-term contracts on them. The prices are constant.
The prices are constant?
Yes.
So if the prices are constant, they shouldn't affect the tariff negatively?
No, so that's what I'm coming in.
All right.
So we have a formula we are using to calculate the weighted average cost of gas. So we take all the costs of the gas and their volumes. And in the last quarter, we saw a surge in the volume of gas coming from the Sankofa Jinyami field.
All right.
And that gas is a little bit expensive compared to, let's say, Jubilee field gas. So there was a relative surge in the weighted average cost of gas. But this quarter, we saw some balancing from Ghana gas. We kind of tried to net off some benefits of natural gas rockets from Ghana gas against the cost of transportation. This quarter, we saw a surge or an increase in the rockets that Ghana gas gets relative to the cost of transportation. So in totality, we saw a decrease in the weighted average cost of gas.
A decrease?
Yes.
Which means it should affect it positively.
It affected it positively.
Okay.
So, but for exchange rate, we saw an upward movement in the exchange rate relative to the.
Okay. So there are four factors that you're looking at, or four parameters. Yes. It's only the exchange rate.
Yes.
That affected the price, or is going to affect the price negatively.
Yes.
And yet that's...
So let me then explain the exchange rate for you in a bit.
All right.
So all the gas components that I've mentioned, all the contracts are signed in dollar-denominated terms. All the LCO, that's the liquid crude oil that we buy from the international market to power some of the thermal plants, are also dollar-denominated. And all the HFO and the DFO we buy are also dollar-denominated.
All right.
So whatever revenues that we collect from the consumer through ECG, if we are paying the cost of power, which accounts for almost power generation, which accounts for almost 70 to 80% of the final cost of power to the end user, we must convert most of those, almost 80% of those revenues to pay for it.
Yeah, all the parameters, all the crude oil, the gas, and all the other things.
The gas and all the contracts that we have with the IPP.
All right.
So basically, the exchange rate that is being quoted and the exchange rate that we do the conversion, we have to be a little bit conscious of the market dynamics and ensure that at all times, whatever revenues that are collected, we are able to get appropriate correlated exchange rate to pay for the cost of all the parameters that I've mentioned within the generation context.
Dr. Suleiman, from what you've just said, talking about the exchange rate and how we have to be conscious about it, it sounds to me as though you're saying that there's the Bank of Ghana exchange rate and what's the exchange rate you use in paying the IPPs. Is that what you're talking about?
So
there's essentially there's
Bank of Ghana exchange rate. That's the fundamental reference point.
Okay.
But then we have the transaction rate. You ask Bank of Ghana, they will explain to you that they have the transaction rate. So even we are not using the transaction rate in this scenarios. We are still using the Bank of Ghana
reference rate. Okay.
Yes, and we try to absorb the transaction cost within our own parameters.
All right.
Yes.
So again, you've looked at there are four factors. And but one of the four factors, the exchange rate is the only reason. So, but the others you're saying are affecting the price, the tariff positively. But
affected the tariff positively.
Positively. The exchange rate.
You've still not given me the opportunity to explain the hydrothermal mix and its implications to the tariff.
All right. You talked about the fact that we're having hydro of about 20% and thermal of about 79%. And so, yes, because thermal is way more expensive, that also impacts it. So,
fantastic.
Okay.
And that's in fact so we have some structural issues.
All right.
So continuously we try to get hydro and thermal energy on, because that's also more easy to use to meet demand, especially during peak.
All right.
And most of those plants that we call them spinning reserves, or plants that are that can easily come on at the time you need them, and at a faster rate, so that you can use them to augment the demand, especially when it's peak time. For example, when Ghana was playing their match, from 8 p.m. it's heavy peak, and you really need to sustain it for a long time. From 6 p.m. to almost 11 p.m., the demand for power surges all of a sudden.
Yeah.
And you must have plants that are ready and available, that can easily come in anytime there's a surge in the demand beyond what you have forecasted. So those plants, the fastest way to turn them on is through the heavy fuel oil. And you must as well make provisions for them in terms of making the heavy fuel oils available at all times.
So you're making provision for them in the third quarter, because the World Cup is not going to go beyond July.
No. So I'm just giving you an example of some
how
of the
you have to let these ones to be on standby.
Still within the generation component that are outstanding.
All right.
There are just some of the issues that are outstanding that we must be conscious about. And if we want to maintain the stability and the reliability in the power, we must be thinking about making provisions to sustain them.
Okay. So I have...
So fundamentally, those structural issues, you as well try as much as possible to resolve them, and as we go on. Yeah, that's basically what I'm trying to say.
So just by way of recapping, there are 4 factors, but you're saying 2 in this case are going to negatively impact or have negatively impacted the tariff. That's the thermal, the generation mix. So the generation mix and the exchange
thermal mix,
and then the exchange rate. So these 2 factors, even though the other 2 factors affected it positively, these other 2 factors, the thermal, the generation mix, and the exchange rate have impacted it, are impacting it negatively, which is why there's been an increase.
Eroded, so in effect, eroded the gains, eroded the benefit that we got from the the fuel that's WACOG, and then the inflation.
All right. Now I have lawyer Kwame Jantwa here. He's in the studio with us. He says he has a question for you, so please hold on and take his question.
Shafi, good morning.
Good morning, Senior.
I want to find out. We knew we were going to have an event like the World Cup, the events during the year that we know can impact on electricity. When did we start planning for this particular event? Because if you plan effectively, you are able to control your cost. So far as it is not planning immediate before the World Cup, we should have planned this probably last year and known exactly how we are going to make sure that electricity is available. You see, one of the major challenges that I find is the fact that we haven't been able to do exploration to production in 8 years. And because we haven't been able to do that, our gas supply is limited. Can you imagine if we had, and when you look
that doesn't sit with the peers.
Well, it's part and parcel of it, isn't it? It's gas we are looking for. But
yes,
they should be,
the gas is far cheaper than the LCU,
exactly,
and then
they should be able,
in fact, gas is the best.
They should be able to push government to do exploration.
Valid point, Dr. Suleiman.
They're a regulator, and theirs is to comfort people, the Ghanaian.
Dr. Suleiman.
So if government isn't pushing, they should push government, and that is the challenge I find with a lot of regulators. As if they are scared to push government, as if they have to pander to government's wishes. No, you pander to the people's wishes.
Let's have him respond. Dr. Suleiman.
So I indicated last year that we've seen a complete surge or increment in the power demand because of the consistency for the whole of last year. For instance, the base load demand for power in Ghana changed completely from around 2,500, 600 to almost 3,000, almost 1,000 megawatts or even more.
What accounted for that?
It's just demand. It's just demand. Because of constant reliability, we call something suppressed demand. The suppressed demand has been unraveled.
All right.
So we are, the plans are there, all right. We have the Energy Commission making provisions through an integrated master plan. But as I said, the surge in the demand for power from last year to date, incredible. But the system is ready. So we've taken care of some of them. Like the gas supply from ENI has been scaled up. We've also scaled up gas supply from NGAS. And then the Jubilee partners are also pushing. Senior Kwame has just nailed it on the wall that for over 8 years there's not been any exploration activity to bring more upstream oil and gas production, and especially making the gas available for thermal power generation in Ghana. But unfortunately for us, through His Excellency the President and then the Minister of Energy, we've seen some investor interest in upstream, and we're also seeing downstream exploration activities that is going to take up very soon. So these are all mechanisms that are coming up to actually reduce our burden or our reliance on light crude oil and heavy fuels going into the future, and they are good for the sector. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Shafiq Suleiman, Executive Secretary, Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, and he's thrown a lot more light on it. So he's saying that there are 4 factors, and even though 2 of the factors impacted or will impact positively on the tariff, the other 2 factors, which is the generation mix and the exchange rate, are impacting negatively, which is why we're seeing the kind of increment.
No, but when you read their statement, did you get that message clearly?
I didn't get that.
What he's saying in the message is 2 different things.
No, but that's why I'm saying that they must be creative.
Different things.
You remember I said the PRC must be creative in the discharge of its responsibilities. We are not seeing it. Because if these 2 factors really positively impacted on the tariff increment, then we should be talking about reduction rather than increment.
So 2 impacted positively, 2
So what was what was the contribution of the 2 factors that impacted positively on the increment? What was their contribution? They must quantify it for us.
Vis-a-vis the percentage that they are using.
Exactly. They must quantify it. But you don't just issue a press statement on social media or in the media and expect Ghanaians to take it hook, line, and sinker. No. They must be responsible to us.
So essentially, you're expecting them to, get to explain things a lot better to us. No, they shouldn't just put it out in statements. And they must argue their case forcefully.
It's right. That's why I'm asking that. When you independently read their statement, did you get the message that he is communicating clearly to you?
I didn't get that.
Exactly. Many Ghanaians who had opportunity to read the statement will not get this opportunity, will not know what really contributed towards the increment. And again, as whether or not, as to how much the 2 factors that contributed positively contributed into the percentage, the 0.85 for water and 3.49 for electricity. What was the contribution of those 2 positive parameters? And what was the contribution of those negative parameters? We must quantify it for us.
Israel, I think we've got to a point where when PURC are going to come out with these increased figures, they shouldn't just put a statement on their website or whatever. They should come into studio and try and explain it detail to the people. Okay. Because what Dr. Shafiq is saying and what is in the statement are different.
It's also possible I didn't get to the point. I didn't get to read to that point.
Israel, I'm also looking at the statement. It's not there. And we must point that out because the statement is too blunt. It tells you that, in fact,
it makes it look as if nothing has supported what you call it.
Not at all.
But other factors that were mentioned have supported the price, which has even improved it and made it better.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on to the next topic. It looks like we don't have a lot of time, but we can deal with the next topic, which has to do with the GPRTU. They are saying, and for me, and for them, their issue is with the Kasoa Winneba Road. So they're saying that they want the road to be fixed, and that if the road is not fixed, they are introducing a 20% fare increase. So that's another thing that people are having to deal with. So electricity is going up, water is going up. And for people on the Kasoa Winneba stretch, you are going to pay 20% more for your by way of transport fares. Let me read a bit of their statement. It says, GPRT of TUC and commercial transport operators of Ghana, fix Kasoa Winneba Road now or face 20% fare increase. The Ghana Private Road Transport Union of TUC and commercial transport operators are alarmed by the extremely bad state of the Kasoa Winneba Road. On 12 June 2026, during our demonstrations, we gave government a 2-week ultimatum to fix the Kasoa Winneba Road. As of today, no meaningful work has been done on the ground. The road continues to cause vehicle damage, high fuel consumption, and long delays for drivers and passengers. A notice to the public, if no action is seen, we will increase transport fares by 20% on the Kasoa Winneba route effective Monday, 29 June 2026, which is just next week, Monday. The adjustment is to cover the extra cost of fuel and maintenance from using alternative routes and the damage to vehicles. We'll appeal to government and the Ministry of Roads and Highways to act now. To commuters, we ask for your understanding as we take this step to protect our vehicles and livelihoods. So, well, GPRT is deciding that they're going to be proactive because they're having to feel the pinch quite a bit on that Kasoa Winneba stretch. Do you use the route at all?
Yes, I stay on the Wager stretch.
Is it that bad?
Very bad, very bad. The place is more like a swimming pool, and that has been the pattern. And when you look at the sand that had gathered on the street, it makes access to the road very difficult.
What's the issue? Is it that when it rains, you have maybe the water that's running downhill onto the streets, it comes with silt. The silt settles on it.
And you see, the thing is that we need a major drainage system.
For that
particular spot. And what they constructed, in fact, they attempted to solve the problem, but what they constructed was a narrow drainage system, which is now choked.
Okay.
So when it rains, and because the whole enclave is more like a waterlock, and many people had also built to block the waterway, so there's no access for the water to gush out.
So are you suggesting some demolitions?
We must take, the thing is that, in fact, there are some companies sited along the street which need to be off or be taken. Yes, government must take them off. We must get rid of them to be able to construct a major drainage system. Because currently, as I stated, because house residents have blocked the waterway, there's a need to sacrifice some people and build a major waterway to allow the water to flow. Currently, it doesn't. So when it rains, you can't have access to the place, and now they have to dump people. Sometimes the drivers will, when they are in the middle of the road, they have to cross over to the other lane, the oncoming lane.
Okay, use the opposite lane.
Use the opposite lane to also block the flow of traffic. So it's a major problem. In fact, from the West Hills Mall to Titeku, that's a major problem. And imagine if nobody is able to have access to that road, it means that there will not be thoroughfare from Accra to Winneba and Cape Coast.
But they're saying they found alternate routes.
They have not done it.
I think the drivers themselves have.
Yes, the drivers, but those alternative routes are also not in a good situation. The thing is that our roads are deplorable, and I'm asking, so don't we have engineers over there? Look at your screen. It's deadly. But it's deadly. You can't. There's no way for you. This is a path. It's true. And that's why you cannot move easily. Sometimes you can wake up at 5 a.m. it will take you more than 1 hour before you can cross this lane.
So you're saying on this stretch,
yes,
the vehicles we see coming our way, sometimes they have to, when this side
look at where
gets choked.
Look at where the motor guys are. Yes. They climb.
So they go onto that side
exactly
and go against
That's what they do. Because that's the only option. Because you can't be stuck in traffic. Particularly when you have an emergency to attend to. Israel. But I see the GPRTU statement as an indirect way of inviting the government to resolve the problem.
Yeah.
And it's always, this is more like a rehearsed note. Target the vulnerable to get to the strong. That shouldn't be the way. If you want the government to fix your road, go for the government, go for the jugular. But to target...
But how do they go for the government? How can they go for the government in this case?
Israel, you can then stage demonstrations.
They've talked about the demonstration. They had the demonstration.
And if the government did not act on your demonstration, Israel, why are you targeting the innocent people who are paying for your services?
They feel if the government didn't get the message with their demonstration, they'll get the message when they increase them.
That's what I'm saying, Israel. It's a rehearsed thing. And aren't we tired of groups always threatening that will do this and do that? If you don't do this, if you don't do that, it's becoming one too many.
But then again, even if government wants to do something about it, they can't do anything about this major problem before Monday.
No. This issue will take almost close to 6 months of dedicated commitment to resolving this problem. Otherwise, it will be all fun, no job done. But this problem has been there, has been persistent, government in, government out. It's not a problem that this government, that is new or novel to this government. It's been there. Yeah. The previous administration were aware. And they didn't solve it. Because you see, Israel, that's the problem with this country. When we are in the rainy season, some of these problems begin to emerge. But when we are out of it, nobody talks about it. We forget our problems. We will forget about our problems. But when the rains begin to set in, that is where we start thinking about the places, particularly even those who are living in slums, those living in waterways, who are built in waterways. They are happy when it's not raining. But when it rains, that's when they start blaming the government.
Kwame Janto, do you have a solution that probably will be a quick fix?
It's the quick fixes that get us into trouble. The quick fixes that get us into trouble. It doesn't look as if in this country we plan. Look, manifestos are not documents for planning. They're not. We need to sit and plan our road system, devoid of politics. Because look, if you have a good road system, it means your country is developing. Look at that. And do you know how much we are losing? Cost-wise, staying in traffic for those hours, production-wise, staying in traffic for those hours.
The fact that we're actually sitting in traffic, the longer we sit in traffic means that it's costing us, we're having to import a lot more crude oil to sit in traffic.
Exactly.
So if we're able to get rid of that, or we're having to we get free-flowing traffic, it's going to cost us less, or we're not going to import as much.
Who is responsible for Ghana's spatial planning? Who is?
You have the spatial...
Who is responsible for Ghana's spatial plan? Who is responsible for public transportation? Who? And you're trying to tell me a country like Ghana today, we don't have a train system? A country like Ghana today, we do not have a train system? When in the 60s, we had a train system.
Yeah.
Isn't it ironic? In the 60s, we had a train system. And we sit and we are glad to import vehicles into the country. And political parties hate themselves. They're always quarreling. We did this, we did that, we did this. Can't we sit down and say, our transportation system affects everybody. Let's sit and see how we put a plan together to solve this once and for all. Do you know how much money we are spending in road construction? I don't understand how we think. I don't. Look at the traffic. And how long will it take you? You leave home 4 a.m. Why should you wake up 4 a.m. to leave home? Why? Why? If we had an effective transportation system, even trams alone, people park their cars. And now look, when it rains, we wait for the rainy season to come before we start screaming on top of the mountaintop. When the dry season comes, and we do gutters, we are still doing narrow gutters.
Very narrow.
What's the thinking? And is it politicians? You see, Israel, one of the major things that have broken in this country is what? Local government. Local government has totally broken down. So you get our AMAs, our KMAs, and all those people absolutely doing nothing because they themselves, they don't have the financial might to do some of the things they need to do. Because we are playing politics with all these things. And if we continue to play politics with all these things, this is what happens. Look at the state of the road.
Let's get onto the phone lines. We have been joined by Ben Buahin. He's a member of the communications team with GPRTU. Good morning to you, Mr. Buahin. So we've seen your statement.
Good morning,
yes.
my good brother.
Yes, we've seen your statement and the ultimatum you're giving to government that you expect them to fix or do something about the situation. Otherwise, Monday, you're increasing your transport fares on the route. Now, one of my panelists here believes that you're being unfair to the commuters by taking your frustrations to the commuters, because it is government you should be targeting and not the commuters.
Thank you very much. I'll first of all greet our audience, especially the transport organization, body, the drivers and the car owners as a whole. And I'll also greet our Greater Accra Regional Chairman, Dr. Lee Ankra, and his subordinates, for the good work that they are doing in Greater Accra. Just as he said, it's very true. Our roads, especially from Kasoa, Winneba, Mankatin, Cape Coast, and Takrady Road, is seriously giving us a notorious heavy congestion, potholes, and bottleneck, especially on the Kasoa-Winneba stretch, which needs to be seriously addressed.
So yes, you have
came out.
Yeah.
When we came out with a demonstration that the government should do something about it, of which up to now nothing has been done. The road minister, that is Kwabena Brako-Powers, came out and said by June everything will be completed on the road. And even the government of the day, that is our Excellency John Mahama, also went and inspected the road. And he came out that he will do something about it by making sure they will make a major corridor from Bujumbura to save way for drivers, traders, and commuters. But very unfortunately, nothing has been done. He gave us 3 to 4 weeks, of which nothing has been done. And as we are talking now, a lot of vehicles are having problems along the road. The road is so destroyed with potholes and bottlenecks that the need has to be arise. And if the government of the day is not trying to do something about it, then by all means, from Monday, 20% will be added to all the lorries.
Now, the promises that were made, you've indicated there were a number of promises made about the road. Was there any specific promise made regarding this Kasoa-Winneba stretch?
Please come again.
So were there any specific promises made for the Kasoa-Winneba stretch? Because my understanding of the situation is there's a particular spot which gets flooded all the time, which is where the problem is. And we probably would need a major drain at that point and maybe some demolitions. Has any specific promise been made about that specific point?
The And just as I said, the government came up promise that they will make sure they create amazing carriageway from Bujumbura going. And as we are speaking now, nothing has been done about it.
But if
nothing has been done about it.
So you're giving government
calling for. Hello.
Yes, you're giving government up to. You're saying if nothing happens,
Monday, if nothing is being done on the road, we'll by all means up 20%.
Okay, so you want to see, what would you want to see done between now and Monday?
The government have to, sorry to say, wake up and make sure what we promised is done.
You want to see some construction equipment going there. Is that it?
That is it.
Okay.
And then if it's not done, then by all means, from Monday, we will start charging the 20%.
But again, why?
Because already we demonstrated.
But
and the government.
So Ben,
are acting as if they've not heard anything from us.
Okay, Ben, why are we making the commuters pay for their challenges?
Thank you. You know, when it happens like this, most of our vehicles get breakdown. And as we are speaking now, even you can confirm from the passengers, a car will be in the traffic. A journey that will take you about 1.5 hours. It can take you 4 hours. Of which, at the end of it, maybe you will get an engine problem, overheating. And when you go to Abu Dhabi, parts which are being sold just last year about 5,000 is being sold now about 30,000. So at the end of the day, you can see that all the money that you get, you have to send them back to Abu Dhabi
to fixing your road.
So there's nothing that will come out of your income.
Ben, have you explored another alternative to getting your voices heard? Maybe you're deciding to, withhold your services for maybe a day.
Is that we should hold ourselves just a day?
No, I'm saying, have you considered that you could also decide that probably you're going on strike, you're not going to work for just one day, to see if that would also help, instead of going to charge the people?
Actually, for economical problem, it will disturb the whole nation. And we don't want it that way. Because at the end of the day, the government is going to lose much money. And we, as transport operators, the same thing will affect us. And it will also affect commuters and traders who fly on the road.
All right.
So at the end of the day, we have to judge ourselves by adding something small to the fare. If the government of the day is not trying to hear our voice.
Okay.
That is what can help us all.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Ben. Ben Boahing is a member of the communications team with the GPRTU, and he's made it clear that, they're going to go ahead Monday if they don't see any signs. So, maybe government could decide to move some heavy construction equipment to the area, and then they'll see, something's going to be done, and so they can hold off.
But, Ben admitted that because they feel government is not acting on their promise or the promise made to them, they want to.
But because you're in the area, you probably would be aware. Has there been any specific promise regarding that particular bottle?
There has not. There hasn't been any promise. In fact, the last time I saw a construction activity in that area was in, I think, between 2024 2025. So it was roughly in 2024.
So the promises he's making reference to is more about
exactly, because he was talking about Bujumbura going. So he's more talking about the major construction taking place, because they are trying.
Because that is also a problem.
They are trying to dualize the road, but construction activities are ongoing. In those areas from Bujumbura, they have other small towns.
And I've heard a number of people have really complained about the way the contractor is going about it. They were hoping that the contractor would have left the portion of the road intact and not,
clear everything.
I did not understand why they don't do it in phases.
Exactly.
Finish one phase, move the other. Finish one phase, move the other. Finish one phase, move the other.
Let the traffic flow.
To make it easier. To make it easier for everybody. It boggles my imagination.
But they took off
especially,
all the
especially when that road is a very busy road. It's a connection between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire.
It's a major corridor road.
I don't understand it. And GPRTU, they said what? They are going to charge more.
Yeah, 20%.
To do what?
More.
And they think that will bring government on.
Yeah, they feel when they do that, when the people, the commuters complain, government
doesn't. And one of the reasons they're saying is destroying their cars.
Yes.
Destroying their vehicles. Park.
No, are they the only people with cars?
I said park. When you park and people can't go to work and people can't do this, it puts pressure. Yeah, that pressure is even easier than getting money from people.
That would affect the economy.
Affect what economy?
No, that would be a major message to the government.
That is more direct.
But Israel,
can you imagine? Powers, can you imagine? You wake up in the morning at what? 3 o'clock, just to get to work, and then you get on the road by what? 4:30, then increase. That increase is given still would not get you to where you want to get to fast enough.
Even reduce the traffic. Israel, I don't know if you've heard of this. In fact, once upon a time, members of the governing National Democratic Congress told us the whole country is a construction site.
Yes, that's what the president said at the beginning of the year.
The whole country is a construction site.
Yes.
So my question is that
in reference to the
major roads that they are working on, but this is a major road. This is a major corridor road. This is a major corridor.
But there's construction on it, you said.
Not on that side, on the Bujumbura to Winneba Cape Coast. That is where the construction is taking place. But this is the connecting point. If there is no easy flow of traffic,
you won't get.
How would you get there? Senior, how would you get there?
But that bit where we saw the vehicles, that bit is being constructed, isn't it?
Where? Which bit?
The bit where there was a lot of traffic on the road. That bit is being constructed.
No, there's
not that bit.
No, there's no construction on that side. You're talking about the SEC.
So this bit that they're talking about, the problem is with the floods that take over the road and the silting of the road. So it becomes
SEC.
like a bottom.
Israel boils down to planning. And as Powers rightly said, drainage.
Yes.
Drainage. One of the major challenges we have in Ghana where flooding is concerned is drainage. And drainage. Water will find its way.
Obviously.
Water will find its way. It doesn't bother whoever is standing there. It will find its way. And if we don't plan towards having effective drainage, when do these floods stop?
But there's a major thing. When we are anticipating that, or when we are inching towards the rainy season, doesn't it settle in the minds of our local authorities, officials, that they need to desilt?
We don't need to wait to the rainy season before we do that. Dry season, let's do that. Continuous.
Because even the sitting
resources, logistics.
Oh, please. We buy 4x4. How many 4x4s have we bought this year? And anyway, the government said they were going to bring tolls back. What has happened? What has happened?
If the roads are not good enough, you don't want to toll.
Not even the roads are not. Even the ones we are not even enjoying it.
This is where sometimes sometimes one shouldn't play politics, but sometimes politicians put themselves in that line. We were told some time ago we have constructed whatever number of roads. Why are we facing this?
Where are the roads?
One final issue before we get to go. The Menchia South MP has been demanding, he's putting an RTI request on the Damang mine lease. You know, there was quite a bit of controversy about the fact that the mine had been handed over to the president's brother, engineers and planners and all that. But he's putting a request. And so for him, he says he's requested access to key documents and records relating to the grant of the Damang Mining Lease to Engineers and Planners Limited, invoking the Right to Information Act 2019. And he's joined us on phone right now. Nana Ejebafo, you are a member of Parliament for Menchia South. Good morning to you. So, what's prompting?
Good morning, sir.
Yes, what's prompting this request?
The need for good morning to you and your cherished listeners, my brother. The need for the request has been necessitated by the need for transparency in terms of the transaction.
Do you think something untoward happened?
To begin with, we don't need to make sure, or there's no need for anything untoward to have happened to have necessitated this.
All right.
To begin with, the arrangement itself is of the kind which, if government was so minded to be transparent, it should be putting everything out there because of the nature of the transaction or the persons involved. And so the transparency shouldn't end with the claim to a tender, but it should go beyond it. And so government itself should have taken the bold initiative to ensure that, given the parties involved, I'm being as transparent as possible to make everybody know that I'm not overreaching the country Ghana. But it hasn't done so. Worse of it, the agreement is yet to come to Parliament for ratification. And even before it does, the ENP, Engineers and Planners, is mining gold at Daman.
All right.
And is selling it to Gold Board in the absence of the requisite ratification. That raises a lot of questions. And so you want to understand what is going on, right?
What specifically are you asking for?
In a nutshell, I'm asking for a lot of documents. The essence of the documentation is to establish the kind of due diligence that was done in the award of the lease. And two, following the award of the lease, or in the award of the lease, the amount of money that was negotiated to be the value of the lease. If you look at Azuma, which ENP had acquired in the not distant past, prior to this one, they have paid an arm and a leg for Azuma. Azuma is a virgin resource.
Yeah.
And so if it is paying an arm and a leg for a virgin resource, how much is it paying for
an already running viable?
Exactly. We want to know how much Ghana is making from it, whether we are being shortchanged. We want to also know the terms of the payment, how much is being paid at what time, whether it is on flexible terms or whether it is being paid at a go. We want to understand it. The documentation we have requested for will inform us in terms of this information we need. And more importantly, because it was a going concern, we want to know whether in the value of the lease, it was informed by how much value it already existed in terms of the mine. And then we see that gold is being mined even before the ratification. Is it gold that had already been mined? Are there rocks that had already been excavated, ready for work to be done on them, and so on and so forth? That would inform us in terms of whether, in a nutshell, Ghana is getting value for money. And it's very important to state this. We are not against whoever is being given to, very respectfully. We are for local ownership. However, it should not be a disadvantage to the state called Ghana.
All right.
It's also important that that information is available so that it becomes the yardstick for measuring future transactions of that nature. Because, I just made reference to the Azuma situation. Azuma is a private ownership. And you want to understand where it involves government, how it treats it, whether or not the state is being shortchanged, so that going forward, there's a yardstick for measuring some of these transactions.
All right. Quickly, you put in this request to the Minerals Commission. Have you heard from them yet?
Not yet. We only did it on Friday or Monday.
All right.
And so we are waiting for the expiration of the 14 days period.
So, Nanaje Bafo, you're also, you're an MP for Menchia South, and you're a spokesperson for the MPP caucus in Parliament on legal and constitutional affairs. Now, I would want to believe that the minority would have a lot more influence, or it will be easier for you to access whatever it is you're looking for, being in Parliament than having to go the route of RTI.
In my humble view, from our assessment of the workings of Parliament, the RTI is better.
All right.
Because in Parliament, you can do so by asking questions, right, or filing a motion. If you ask the question must first be admitted by the Speaker. If it is not admitted by the Speaker, right, there isn't much you can do. Secondly, in Parliament, unless there is an inquiry, the documentation I'm asking for will not be available to me in Parliament.
Right.
Now, thirdly, if it's a motion, the motion itself must be accepted or admitted by the Speaker. Otherwise, it will not go through. And then even if the Speaker admits either the question or a motion, right, on the floor, your supplementary questions are regulated and they can be overruled by the Speaker. And if you've observed the happenings in Parliament, you appreciate that there are times when other people might want to ask supplementary questions and they may not catch the eye of the Speaker, right? And so it's too regulated for you to push through such a request. The RTI, unless it comes under the exception of the law, is more potent and effective because it's a statutory sanction which you cannot exempt yourself from, or anybody cannot.
All right.
And then in the worst case scenario, you can go to court for the court to compel the enforcement of the RTI Act. At that point, the court will only determine whether or not it comes under the exception, which from my reading of the law does not. And so the RTI in the circumstance is a very, very potent law for ensuring transparency and accountability, even for a member of Parliament.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, Nanaje Bafo. We are as the MP for Menchia South, and we wish you all the best in your RTI request. Yes.
You asked him a legitimate question, because I even wrote it here. Why didn't he use the Forum of Parliament, which and he's explained. So it's an issue of distrust. He doesn't trust the system. So he believes that the RTI route will be more efficient. But be that as it may, this is a legitimate step, one that must be applauded, because I have said from the beginning that if the processes leading to the awarding of the contract to, or the lease to EMP was one that is justifiable and due process was followed, the government should not have issues publishing the report. Because the one they published was a summary report. I stated that publish the entire report. Let Ghanaians have the full complement of the report. If you feel that, because the issue has nothing to do with the nationality of the person involved, but it has to do with the relationship of the person involved to the government. And if you tell me, because there was an incident where, not even an incident, the government spokesperson said that during the meeting where cabinet was approving the agreement, the president excused or recused himself. I mean, this is laughable. It is laughable. All of you at cabinet
should have recused it.
No, yes, because you are appointees of the president. You are appointees of the president. Okay. So what are you telling us? This is more like a cantata story.
Quick thoughts on it, like.
If the individual wasn't an individual, of the president's family, will all this happen?
Maybe. Maybe not.
That's if we have doubts, why not?
So for me, the best thing is to come out, let everybody see the ins and outs of it, and then let's move on. The company is capable. They have the wherewithal to do the work. And we should try as much as possible to put the politics out. What is it that we're trying to achieve in making sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed? Is it trying to implicate the president? Is it trying to implicate others? What is the reason? But so far as Ghana is concerned, it is good for us to know exactly what is in there. And then we take it from there.
All right.
Simple.
Thank you very much. That'll be all for Newsflash. Lawyer Kwame Jantua and Austin Brako-Powers.